Alrighty, hello everybody, and welcome back to the North American Mania Tournament 2023. Going right along to the end, or towards the end, of this round of 64 weekend. A lot of very exciting matches, a lot of double, triple, quadruple, even quintuple headers. We're quickly approaching the end of the line. We have our next matchup on stream for you guys. Here is going to be Maxtulini going up against Oxillius, a Guatemalan player, one of the few Guatemalans probably around in the tournament scene, going up against one of the many Canadians in the scene. As always, my name is Sparky, and I am joined in the commentary booth by none other than Alter. Alter, how you doing?
Hello, Sparky. 5 p.m. Just got out of work, got some coffee, rested up a little bit, spending the rest of my evening watching some amazing two players about to give us some awesome scores. I was reviewing their qualifier results. Actually, they were quite close as well. I think it was C 27 to 30, something around there. They were quite close, and they actually had opposite qualifier results. So it looks like Oxillius here was actually did fairly good on the LN comparative to Max, who did really good on the Rice. So maybe see a Rice versus LN matchup.
Yeah, I always love seeing the dichotomy between two players begin to develop. It could be very interesting seeing a bit of a change of sorts, because I think a lot of the matches we have seen stream this weekend, it's basically the same story with these early game map pools. Everybody feels very comfortable on the Rice pool overall, that they really don't feel the need to change anything or like risk potentially giving over points on the LNs. And I always like to say that whenever there's no SV in a tournament, the LNs are quickly up on the chopping block. Most notably, Ukulele and Hello Seattle have been the popular two for this weekend. But it looks like we're seeing a little bit of a change here. Maxtulini protecting Ukulele, so we're going to see at least one LN map going to be played here, you would imagine.
I know. I have not really seen many of the LN maps actually played so far. It's really been Rice, but I'm curious to see. Hopefully we start soon. I'm curious to get started to see dive into these players' skill sets here.
Yeah.
First ban on the way. Looks like it's gonna be Rice One's Destiny. Oh man.
Yeah, so no speed streams here.
No, speed stream patterns are definitely a trickster. Most players just have trouble accuracy in them, and then there's a lot of random misses that happen. But ran in an LN1. Okay, protecting Rice 5 and banning LN1. So okay, maybe I was wrong.
Well, I mean, I think we missed one of the protects. It looks like Rice 5 was protected as well. So I think we were playing that dichotomy. One player protecting Rice, banning LN, and then one protecting LN, banning Rice. So with that out of the way, looks like Max is going to be up 2-pick first. It'll be interesting to see what they decide to start off with. Maybe we see the protect come out right out of the gate. Not a lot of opportunities to get your pick of the litter with this pool being so small. Best of 7 match, first player 2-4 points, so gotta make these picks count.
Oh yeah, there's only, not that many maps in the pool actually, now that I look at it. I mean, oh, there it is right there. Oh, how do you say that? Cool. Connection. Hybrid 1. Timed out. By Lian, too. Ooh, very good mapper.
Yeah, for sure.
2 minutes and BPM 145. I'm
yeah,
curious to see what this is.
This is our more Rice-oriented hybrid. You'll see that it begins to layer upon itself. The patterns start off pretty simple in nature, maybe a bit jump stream oriented overall, but yeah, towards the end you start to see the LNs start to make their appearance, and they start to get really abrasive to try and read through and juggle as you try and make your way through all the Rice patterning in between. So let's see how the players hold up here.
I know this is going to be their first moment to really test the waters and see what the other their opponents they're weak at. Right off the bat, though, I mean, looks like Max actually has a dominating ratio. I mean, Ox is building it up quite a bit, though.
Yeah,
like
maybe
some early match nerves. Just taking them off, getting used to the song, getting used to the timing. Okay.
Yeah, able to build back up to contest against Max
Actually,
at the moment, and
wow.
they're virtually tied. In fact, they are tied. They're within 100% of each other going into the second quarter of the chart, and this is basically going to be the story for this chart. The jacks start to become more intrusive, the jumps as well, the rolls interspersed in between, and the stray LN here and there every now and again as we make our way through this first half of the chart. And now Oxillius is actually starting to pull away a little bit here, building back up into that 99.8, maybe picked up a couple of 200s at the very beginning of the chart, but recovering very nicely from there. It is now 500% between the two players going into the back half of the chart.
Wow, 2 quarters left. I mean, it's so close. Doesn't this map just... It's very consistent, yeah? I wouldn't expect many difficult more patterns after this. I mean, it is definitely getting more dense, though. I do see it.
Yeah, the layers start to apply themselves here. Soon we'll see the introduction of those LNs.
Looks like both players are holding really strong. It just looks like that ratio game from Oxillius is just holding out just a little bit stronger here. But 2 full combos. I mean, 1 miss could bring down Oxillius.
Yeah, and as these LNs start to come out.
Oh, the 200, 100, or 50. Actually, wait a second. It's neck and neck.
They are virtually tied against each other. For every 200, one player drops, the other responds in kind. Right now, Oxillius is actually falling from their perch here as the LN starts making an introduction. A lot of late releases here as we clear out. Not a lot of tricks left up this map's sleeve. Last sliver of chart left to go. It is 400%. Max ahead. It looked a little bit dicey there from the early going, but unless they find a slip up here, last 2 notes, watch the releases.
And that's going to be it. He takes the first point.
Oh my goodness, that was ratio difference to 200s really doing the damage there.
Yeah, no, that is. Dang, and he must have gotten all of that at the LN section too. That's really tragic.
Yeah, they had the ratio advantage, however, so they might be hardened by that because most of that came from the first 3 quarters of the chart. So maybe might feel empowered to go into the Rice, and sure enough, Oxillius is their first pick. Rice 3. It's gonna be BL Rink.
Now each player is starting to see their opponent's weaknesses. Max is seeing that Oxillius is just a little bit weaker on the LN release game, but now we know Oxillius does have that better Rice ratio between the two. So perhaps maybe Oxillius is gonna pull back this point. Gonna have to see though. I mean, right off the bat, they're pulling out some strong full combo games too.
Yeah, for sure. This is going to teeter on a knife's edge, you would imagine, for quite a while. This is arguably one of the less physically demanding maps or Rice charts in this pool. Very straightforward introduction, bit of mixed Rice overall.
But 3 minutes, that's a lot of consistency to ask for there as well.
Oh, for sure, but hopefully at a gentle enough BPM to not cause too many issues. I think it's really going to come down to maintaining the reading composure through the single note streams, transitioning between a lot of the jacks that are found.
Ooh, beautiful song so far. Alrighty, let's get into it though. I mean, right off the bat, I'm predicting that Oxillius is going to have that dominating ratio game that we saw before. And we're seeing it right now. But all it takes is just that drop. And then you just lose that whole ratio game, really. Unless it's just extremely dominating, right? Like 200, 300 above your opponent. But... oh yeah. Well, now we're seeing Max actually taking the lead here. Must have gotten like a 200 on Oxillius' side here.
Must be, because it is now a 10th of a percent of a lead for Max to work with as we make our way into the second quarter of the chart. Nothing really starts to pop out. A 200 traded in return, and a damage accuracy is a little bit, and now they're virtually tied.
Wow. They're pretty much tied. The scores are flickering. We're not even 2 quarters yet, guys.
Yeah, this is going to be an intense back and forth, you would imagine, as they start to meet each other once again. Nobody really giving an inch as we take a bit of a moment to take stock of the situation. A 200 from Max going to give the lead back over to Ox for now.
Look at that score difference. It's virtually tied neck to neck. It's only a 500 difference. And Max is building it back up again.
Yeah, as things calm down, Max really starts to climb back up, but now it's Oxillius in the driver's seat for the moment. You imagine that they're not out of the woods just yet. A singular 200 can swing this again as you make our way into the last quarter of the chart. It starts to pick up once again. It's basically just these streams that can really be the difference maker, but the jacks start to get a little bit more dense to read through. It's going to come down to keeping that 300 count under control as we begin this last quarter of the chart.
Looking really strong here. Oxillius does have that tiny bit of lead with a 0.03 percentage, but Max is slowly bringing it, shortening it. Oh my gosh, they're neck and neck, Sparky.
It is up to Max to start to climb up. Oxillius cannot afford to find a rush of 300s this late on into the chart. There is only a couple hundred notes left, and it looks like Oxillius might have done enough. Another couple of streams to read through, and they're going to be able to hold on.
Oh, he brings and takes back his own point. Look at
Oh, that 100. A singular 100. That 700 point difference. Any more 200s from that singular one could have swung things over. The ratio between the two of them in the 300 column, way too close to call. And Oxillius, by the skin of their teeth, make it 1-1 now.
Wait, that was Max's pick?
No, that was Oxillius's.
Oh, okay.
They both won their own points so far.
I know. Now Max gets to pick. Hopefully, maybe we might see another hybrid and LN. There are quite a few options available on the pool.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, with Connection being that first pick, you saw the ability for Oxillius, and the ratio really started to fall apart at the introduction of the LNs. So unsurprisingly, LN3 going to be the next choice for Max, maybe keeping Ukulele in reserve as maybe like a last resort because of how awkward release oriented it is. This one a little bit more straightforward, a couple of intricate bursts in between the transitions, but nothing too hard to handle for these players.
No, we definitely see that. I mean, full combos are pretty much just easily attainable from both of these players. Their consistency game is just outright phenomenal. But it really does depend if Oxillius is going to pull out that ratio game, and if he's going to lose those LN releases, give more 200s than what we saw in the first map. But here we are. We're starting. I can't wait to see this. 2 minutes and 35 seconds. That's fairly long for a 2-minute map, but I have to see it. I know in the minds of the players, these songs just go by real quick when they have the nerves. And the nerves are only going to grow as closer to tiebreaker gets.
Yeah, pretty simple in structure, very 1/4 oriented, a couple of weird snap bursts to try and trip you up, but that really only happens on the transition. So if you are prepared for them, able to read your way through them, a couple of jacks as well, a couple of reverse shields to try and throw you off your game. Everything just trying to make you break combo, but so far both players making up over that 400 combo cap with relative ease, separated only by the accuracy, about 0.3% in favor of Max for the moment. Oxillius not too far behind, able to capitalize on any potential mistakes here as we make our way into the next third of the chart.
Actually does look like that. Max is building his accuracy just by a little bit as the song goes, but he does find a 200, but his ratio game is so strong. And Oxillius is just kind of steadily hanging around there, but just above a 99% accuracy. It's already 2 quarters in, and really what Oxillius needs is a miss. Essentially a break on Max's side here, but it's so hard to say just because, I mean, both of these players are really strong in terms of consistency, full combo.
Yeah, for sure. as we make our way further into the chart, back half, last third upcoming. And I think it's really just a matter of one player being very comfortable with the structures and the other one trying to hold on. You see on the UR bar, the overholds on the side of Oxillius really bringing down their accuracy for the moment, down into that low 99% range. Still a competitive board by virtue of that FC, but as I say that last quarter of the chart, they do drop the full combo. That's gonna help push in.
Oh no. And it's just at the very end too. There's barely any to build up back to 400 combo. This is a big lead for Max. I don't think he's gonna be able to come back from this. That was a detrimental drop, especially with the accuracy along with that miss. I think this is definitely gonna go to Max's point, but this was to be expected, especially what we saw from Max's play from the first map. So he is going to be taking his second point, but now Oxillius gets to attack back, hopefully picking another Rice, maybe?
Probably going to shoot right back up into that top half of the map hole. And I mean, interestingly enough, 300 counts in favor of Oxillius. It's really just the 200s, the release element of these LNs really doing the damage for them. But looks like they're not going to dwell too much on it. They're going to go straight into Rice 2. Before even being asked, they knew what they wanted to get into. 187 BPM hand stream.
You know, but Oxillius kind of backed into a corner here because we've already seen that Max has been able to perform not just on LN, but also Rice as well. Oxillius is really going to have to pull one out here just to take this point, especially if Max is just going to be right behind him. One small little mistake, and he loses his own point.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
So it's going to be really tough. I mean, this is already stressful enough, being down 1 point, but we're not 100% able to take this next point. Definitely nerves building up here. Wait, you said this is jump stream? Court stream?
Yeah, it's hand stream, so a lot of 3-note chords littered throughout with the jumps. So
wins 187 BPM. Oh,
round of 64, by the way.
It's a round of 64. Okay.
I mean, the players have done it to themselves. As a brief note, while we wait for the players to ready up, this was a triple header, and it was the other two matches not shown on stream. GS Link taking on the Moonloop and Jasper taking on Murphy Bunny. Both of those matches have ended already. The red side of both those matches pulling out the victory 4-0. I think once we get the schedule brought up at the end of this match, we'll see exactly who won in those regards. So congratulations to them, and we can continue on with this match. It's the nature of it. These best of sevens go by in a flash, that it's very nice to be able to show off the ones that go on just that little bit longer, the competitive ones where it's just a intense struggle back and forth between two evenly matched players. So we are ready. We're going to get into this fourth map.
Alrighty, 2 minutes, 187 BPM. Doesn't seem too bad about stamina wise. Just see if both of the players can hold on and maybe not choke. I expect some really good accuracy on this map here.
Yeah, the upper echelon of players have been really destroying this one. I've seen multitudes of 998s, 990 scores in general from the higher seats. So diving into this one, we saw it in BL Rank that Max was able to hold their ground against Oxillius for large portions of that map. So Oxillius is going to need to really buckle down and basically keep that 300 count as low as humanly possible, and it looks like they are doing it successfully for the moment. 500% separating these two players as we begin to dive back into the hand stream.
Oh, and that's a 200 on Oxillius, bringing down the ratio just a little bit to Max's side. It's really close, but we still have 2/4 of the map, and they're neck and neck in terms of accuracy. That 200 count, or that just 200 on Oxillius, really did a number on him.
Yeah, but I think Max has traded it back here.
Oh, it does look like he did. Oh man, no, this is too close. Oh no! Oh, Max just found a miss! Oh my gosh.
That was a pretty clean drop, though. It's just a singular one, no extra bad judgments coming along with it, but it is now a 0.1% between the two players. Oxillius finding a couple of, maybe just rushing a little bit, trying to keep this pace going down into that 99.7 range. Oh, this is still anybody's game. There's still a number of notes to hit, and if you mess up any of these streams for even a moment, there are no breaks from here on out towards the end, but it looks like Oxillius is going to be able to do just enough.
And he does with a 991K. Unbelievable score. Look at that ratio game from Oxillius as well. 209 with 3 200s and 100. Wow, and that one miss from Max ended up, actually, he still would have, wait, no, if he didn't get that miss, I think he would have won, maybe?
It would have been very close.
It would have been very close, but that one miss did not help at all, and that's going to give Oxillius that point that he needed. But now it's going to be Max's turn. Hopefully we're going to see a protect here. Maybe the hybrid. We might have to see. Two more options, really. I mean, we could see a Rice, but no, I think it's definitely going to be his protect, right?
More than likely, yeah, because there's a notable discomfort, and yeah, LM2 going to come out.
My weakness. I don't know how people play this.
This is similar to the 7 key release charts that you're probably used to seeing and probably dread playing.
I dread those.
This is very awkward to play through, a frequent target of bans.
Oh, it's 2 minutes and 46 seconds. Oh, man.
It flies by, but if you're not one to stomach release LNs, this is torture.
It's gonna feel like forever.
On top of that, there's just these really intrusive mini jacks that get thrown in just for good measure in the choruses. Hopefully the players can hold on through them, but for right now, actually Oxillius getting the better start. Max finding a lot of 200s through this introduction.
Oh, wait, you're right. I saw Oxillius get a 200 and that looked at Max accuracy. Okay.
So maybe just like a first note skip, maybe throwing off that introduction, but as we get into the main release oriented section, we see Oxillius falling from their perch down into the 98s as Max starts to climb up.
Wait a second, those releases are working against Oxillius here. And quite a bit of 200s. 98 point. Oh, it's, oh my, it's still got, is he using Percy? I bet he's using Percy.
It's a Percy check moment. He starts to look at the judgments and it's like, Meanwhile, on the other side, Max climbing up from their earlier drop in accuracy, back up over that 99% mark. This is the widest gap we've seen. He is finding the first drop as the mini jacks really start to get intrusive in the second chorus. There's still half the map to go.
Dude, these jacks are dirty.
Oh, for sure, especially when you're trying to coordinate the releases around them. As we get into the build-up into the back half of the chart, Max has been basically teetering around that 99% mark. Oxillius down into the 97% range. Can't really blame him. This is probably not their bread and butter.
Max is chilling with that combo game and that accuracy game as well. Oxillius is struggling just a little bit, but who wouldn't? I mean, these patterns are dirty. God.
Oh, for sure. The last couple of misses, so he takes stock of the situation. About 50,000 points, and I think Oxillius,
what happened?
Might have been a lag spike.
Did his game minimize? I have that moment too. My game minimizes and it closes and I freak out.
Yeah, I've seen Windows updates, security updates, just the whole gamut. As
it looks like it happened again.
Maybe, but yeah, they probably took a look at the score and they were like, okay, I'm not coming back from this. Not gonna waste my time. Not gonna waste the mental energy to see the rest of this chart out. Gonna hand the point over to Max. They were already ahead from the offset, and this is going to make it 3-2 now. Oxillius probably taking a moment to consider what their next option is in terms of their next Rice pick. You would imagine probably gonna go into the protect. Rice 5 on the board for them, so Nice little collapse of the
Little collapse there.
play
but
field.
Wow, 99%. No, actually, with the FC as well. Dang, Max, good job on that. That's actually such a good score.
Yeah, for sure. So
All right, let's see what happened. You just find out the reason. Keyboard. Osu game crashed.
who
Minimize.
knows? Hopefully they're still in the lobby.
Taking a strategic extra timeout. Song is long. You can get a couple of minutes of a timeout.
Yeah, that's a very interesting way of getting a timeout. Bold strategy, chief. But if you knew that you were going to win the point in the first place, actually it could work out in your favor. So
Definitely. I mean, he still has his protect too with his Rise 5 on the board. He might just get to show us some Superman map. Prisoner? Perhaps. Keyboard?
the keyboard disconnected.
It's always the keyboard.
Always a keyboard. Unfortunate there, but yeah, that was maybe
I don't know.
at least
For me, I would have just said that was a strategic timeout. I felt like that would have been a much funnier response. But
yeah. But I mean, thankfully it was during one of the LM charts. Imagine if it had happened on one of the Rise charts where it was like neck and neck. That would have been devastating. So maybe a blessing in disguise, getting that sorted out during the maps that you don't want to actually try and play through, as Rise 5 comes out, unsurprising, to protect for Oxillius to try and force a tiebreaker here. You're gonna need to win this to get Bad Apple up on stream.
This is a short map as well with a minute 33 seconds, 170 BPM, but it is a stupid map. So there's gonna be a lot of tech, a lot of nice juicy patterns for these players to choke. Very excited. Hopefully a tiebreaker incoming as well. Haven't seen the tiebreaker. I would like to.
Yeah, it's quite a good song. And one of the earlier matches this weekend, two players going at it on their virtually tied till the ending, and that match actually featured a bona fide tie. So
can I get a second to fix my keyboard? Yes, sure you can. In the meantime,
what do we have coming up?
How's your day going?
It's going absolutely fantastic. This has been a very good weekend overall.
I saw
excited
that,
to get this on the road.
I was at work and I decided, let me see what slots are available on NAMT staffing sheet. And I saw one, it had nobody there. And then I look away and I look back and I see that you put your name. And I was like, man, this was a moment in the blessing. It was supposed to happen.
Supposed to happen. Always a pleasure. But I guess while we wait for Oxillius to fix their keyboard, a look ahead to the final remaining matches of the weekend. After this, at the top of the hour, we're going to see Twitch chat, the entirety of Twitch chat, taking on Siger. And then a triple header to close out the round of 64 at 1 UTC. It's going to be Tristan Jacob going up against Amnesia, LOL. Mitter going up against Damu, and Lycan Rock taking on Z2A. So, plenty to look forward to as we wind down this first weekend of the North American Mania tournament. And it looks like the players are ready. Gonna get this potentially final map underway.
Looking forward to those as well. But let's see. Hopefully we can start. I'm on the edge of my seat. I really want to see some Mania fingers tapping those keys. I want to see if Oxillius fixed his keyboard.
I'm hoping. I think everybody is praying for Oxillius to not have any issues as we go into the sixth map.
It's a short map too, so maybe he'll get lucky in the short span of the map. We'll see. So we're getting started here. Oh man, I love Superman maps. They look so clean, very balanced. Nice patterns here. Smooth patterns. A lot of tech. Definitely a lot of mini jacks, a lot of delay, little grace notes mixed in.
Yeah, just a whole kitchen sink thrown at you very early on, and it does not stop for even the briefest moment. Both players finding some damage through this first section. Opening volley helping out Oxillius for the moment, building up a bit of a lead here, 2/10 as we get into the first break. These anchored mini jacks, not the worst things in the world to deal with, but with nerves can be your worst nightmare to deal with.
Definitely. I mean, we're coming up with the second half already. It's a short song so far. That accuracy is just a little bit on Oxillius' side here. Max isn't that far off either. I mean, if Oxillius just finds a miss, pretty much moves over to Max's side. So it's still really, he's going to have to work for this point.
As he has for all the rice points that they have accrued so far. Last third of the chart left to go. And it's basically just these LN walls coming in. And the rice in between. I hope that isn't because of a disconnect. Not going to be the case here. Able to hold on as we make our way into the last quarter of the chart. A 10% separating these two players, teetering once again on the knife. There's a 50. There's a 50 from Oxillius.
It's like 1,000. Oh, no.
It's 100 points, a couple hundred points between these two players. Oxillius able to recover very well from that unfortunate 50. Max able to hold on to the full combo as well, but taking a bit of damage, falling from that 99.6 mark down into the 99.4, and we're going to tiebreaker.
Oh man, my heart. He does it. Whew, man, look at that score. Sheesh, that 988, almost 989k, 200 ratio, 200s and 150, putting us on the edge of our seat, giving us a heart attack. Oh my lord. But that's it. Then we're going to tiebreaker.
That 50 is a heart attack and a half if you are playing your way through it. Able to avoid the combo break. You would imagine it'd be a completely different story if that was something like a slider break, but not going to be the case here, and we are going into the tiebreaker. 4 minutes long, the longest chart in this pool by nature of the category. Bad Apple on 1.1x.
Definitely. I mean, we see some rice patterns, but there is that one. There is a few LN sections that make me question that Max might be better suited for, and Ox might just give like more 200 count. I expect FCs from both, but that 200 count, I feel like Ox just might suffer just a little bit more looking at LN sections in this song. I mean, even if Max lost all the rice picks, we haven't seen Max really miss except one chart, really, and his consistency has been so strong.
Yeah, for sure. So
we might see Max actually pull away the win here on this tiebreaker. We're really gonna have to see. I'm expecting it to come down to 200 count, with Oxillius most likely winning on that ratio game. But
yeah, I could definitely see that.
We're gonna have to see, because misses, 50s, anything can come out. Keyboard issues.
Knock on wood, don't happen here.
It's a 4-minute song. We'll have to see. Not during tiebreaker, at least. But, I mean, whoever loses this match, they're not out of the tournament yet. So, they do have a loser's bracket to look forward to. And the winner of this match here does move on and stay in the winner's bracket. But a few seconds now, we're starting the tiebreaker. I'm so excited, Sparky.
This is the essence of all tournaments up on screen once again, and similar to what we saw on ukulele, Max finding a bit of an accuracy drop right from the offset, and Oxillius able to capitalize on it for the moment. You would imagine as this song progresses, gonna be able to shore up the accuracy, climb back up into maybe that high 99 range. But as I say that, they're virtually tied going into the first drop.
Oh, definitely want to maximize the amount of 300s in ratio game you have here. Try to minimize the amount of 200s that we'll see. But we're already seeing Oxillius pulling out a few 200s. His ratio game is really strong, though. Max also is pulling out 200s, but the song's only going to get denser. Oh, wow. We're actually seeing more 200 count from Max. Oh,
yeah,
well, I didn't expect this.
Opening volley is done. Oxillius comes out on top for the moment going into the second quarter of the chart, able to mitigate the damage potentially from some of those LN bursts that we saw. And you would imagine they're going to start to climb as these rice patterns start to come out. The rolls going to catch a couple of 200s, but both players still holding on to their FCs as we get into this next section, second third of the chart upcoming. These LNs start to become a little bit more intrusive through all these heavy rice rolls.
Oh my gosh, these patterns are crazy. I forgot I did commentate the showcase, so I do know this map. But yeah, no, these patterns are absolutely crazy. What skill level are these players at? I'm not sure if Maxtulini.
And as we make our way into the back half of the chart, these anchors on the singular column, very easy for both players to navigate through. That could have been disastrous for either, though they started those off on the wrong foot, able to avoid that. And Max has caught up now. It's inside 500% going into the next drop. The LN starts to become a little bit more pervasive here, and you would imagine it's up to Oxillius to be able to hold on to the accuracy, but they start to fall behind now. Max is actually taking the lead here in the transition, but it is not without a struggle here. They are trading back and forth.
Oh my god, look at the scores! They're flickering. They're like 100 score difference.
They are playing.
Oh my gosh. Oh, but he does find Max just find a few 200s there. Oxillius just pull ahead just a little bit on the break section. Their ranks are pretty much identical as well. These are really close players.
Yeah, for sure.
0.3 and 99.2. Oh man.
Cannot afford to find a drop this late.
Oh.
Next roll, both of them managed to make it through. Oxillius finding a couple 200s in the transition as we get into a full LN section. This is probably Max's best opportunity to start pulling away here as the lead starts to shift back over to the red side. A lot of 200 coming out from Oxillius at the moment, but still able to hold on to the combo. Neither player can afford to find a drop this late on. Last quarter of the chart still left to go. A lot of 200 being traded back and forth. I imagine the nerves are probably at their wit's end. Both players managing to hold on.
Oh, look at the score difference. It's like 1,000. Stop. I can't.
It is inside the 100. Last roll.
Oh, he hits it. Okay, it's just twice now. Does he build it back up?
A very tech-oriented section. A lot of LN starting to come through as well. Oxillius finding the 200s on the releases.
So many 200s.
The shoe is on the other foot now. It is up to Max to not find any 200s on these rice bursts. They have had the consistency overall, despite Ox having maybe the 300 count advantage, but it is still way too close to call. Cannot afford to bat an eye this late on. Gotta be able to manage your way through it.
He finds a miss and secures Max's win. Oh my gosh. 974 to 970. Look at the ratio game, and the 200 count was only 8 difference. But he lost because of the 100s and the one miss.
Oh, that singular miss. The nail in the coffin for a potential upset from Oxillius. Very well played by both of these players. That was as back and forth as it could have been. And Maxtulini punches their ticket into the winners round of 32.
Oh man, and he gets to face none other than the accuracy god Halogen in the round of 32 winners bracket. Congratulations, Max. Oxillius, you're not out of the tournament yet. You're moving on to the losers bracket. And you'll be facing, it looks like, Sparky. So that's gonna be a very exciting match here.
Oh, for sure.
But thank you for watching. I think we're coming really close to the end of this round as well. So thank you for watching, Sparky. Thank you for commentating with me.
Yeah.
And we'll see y'all. I think we got one more, right?
Yeah, we got one at the top of the hour, about 15 minutes. It's going to be Twitch chat taking on Sider. Do not want to miss it. And then we end out the weekend once again at 1 UTC between 6 very good players. But until then, we'll catch you all later.
Alrighty. Bye-bye.